What if your brother forged a marriage contract with your name and then declared he loved you on live television? Welcome to my life where love, betrayal, and family collide in the most unexpected ways. Hi there. My name is Emma Lark. I'm 16 years old and I live in a cozy little town surrounded by forest. If you pass by my house, you'd probably see my little brother Jake playing video games outside. He always fills our home with laughter. I'm just your normal teenager, but life threw me some unexpected challenges recently. My brother had surgery, and I had to navigate some complex family issues. You see, I got caught up in a dramatic situation with my brother Thomas, who was also my best friend. I'm excited to share my story with you. It's messy, emotional, and honestly, it's been quite a journey. So grab a snack, sit back, and let me take you through all the ups and downs of my life. I never expected to find something like this. I was just cleaning out the dusty corner of our old bookshelf when I came across it. My heart raced as I pulled out a rolled-up piece of paper tied with a frayed ribbon. It felt important, almost heavy in my hands. "What is this?" I whispered to myself, curiosity battling with dread. I carefully unrolled it, and my breath caught in my throat. My name was right there, printed clearly at the top of the marriage contract. Emma Lark, it read. I felt the color drain from my face. No, 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 I gasped, a panic clawing at my chest. This can't be real. My mind raced, spinning with confusion, anger, and fear. How could this happen without my knowledge? What does this mean? Am I really married? My voice trembled with each word. Just then, I heard the front door open. "Emma, are you home?" It was Thomas, my brother. He sounded cheerful, too cheerful for the storm raging inside me. I quickly stuffed the contract back in the corner. "I'm in here," I called out, my heart pounding. What would I even say to him? I could only imagine his reaction. He appeared in the doorway, his brown hair tousled like he had just come from some grand adventure. "Hey, you won't believe the awesome deal I found at the market today," he said, grinning widely. "Oh," I tried to smile but failed. "What did you find?" "Milk for half the price. Can you believe it?" His eyes sparkled with excitement. I could hardly focus on his words. "Thomas," I said, my voice quivering, "I need to talk to you about something important." His expression shifted. I could see the worry creeping in. "What is it? You look pale." "I found something," I said, my hands shaking as I pointed toward the corner. "It's about this marriage contract with my name on it." Thomas's smile vanished. "A marriage contract? What do you mean?" I took a deep breath, trying to calm my racing heart. "I didn't even know we were married. How could you keep this from me?" "What are you talking about?" he replied, confusion washing over his face. "I saw my name on the paper. I can't believe you didn't tell me," I yelled, my voice rising. "Did I agree to this? Do I even get a say?" "Emma, I swear, I didn't know. You must have misunderstood," he said, looking genuinely worried. "Misunderstood?" I shouted. "How could I misunderstand my own name? This means something huge. I feel trapped. I feel scared." He stepped closer, concern etched in his features. "I promise we'll figure this out together." "Together?" I scoffed. "But I'm not the one who put my name on the contract. Why should I trust you?" His eyes darkened. "You know I'd never want to hurt you, right?" I could hear the hurt in his voice. I shouldn't be angry with him. But how could he not know? If you didn't know, then who did? And why is my name there? "I don't know, Emma, but I'll help you find out. Please don't be scared. We'll get to the bottom of this." As I looked into his eyes, I felt a flicker of hope, but confusion still swirled in my mind. What if this contract meant I was in danger? "I need answers, Thomas," I whispered, feeling lost and small. He nodded. "Then let's go see the lawyer. Together." Together. It was a small word, but with everything going on, it felt like a lifeline. I took a deep breath, feeling torn between fear and the desire to trust my brother. "All right," I said finally, but deep down I still felt the worry gnawing at me. What would we discover? Sitting in Throma's office felt like being stuck in a storm. I paced inside, my heart racing like a rabbit. The walls felt like they were closing in on me. I couldn't help but glare at him. "What were you thinking?" I yelled, unable to hold in my anger. "You forged my name on a marriage contract. That's illegal." He rubbed the back of his neck, looking uncomfortable. "Emma, please calm down. Let me explain." "Explain?" I shot back. "You need to tell me why this happened. I feel trapped. You can't just make decisions for me." He sighed, looking defeated. "I didn't want you to be involved. I thought—" He stopped, his eyes darting around the room. "What? What did you think?" I pressed, my voice sharp. "I thought it would protect you," he said finally, his gaze meeting mine. "There was a takeover. A company wanted to buy us out. I couldn't let that happen." "A takeover?" I echoed, feeling even more confused. "Yes. They were threatening to take our home and everything we've built. I had to do something." His eyes were wild, desperate. "So I signed your name for you. It was the only way to keep them at bay." I felt my heart sink. "And you thought lying to me was the solution?" "It wasn't like that," he argued. "I thought I was saving us." "By using my name?" I frowned, frustration filling me. "What if they come after me next? What if they find out?" Thomas shook his head, his voice steady. "That's why I didn't tell you. I needed time to handle it." I crossed my arms, feeling the betrayal burn in my chest. "You put me in danger, Thomas. You think I wouldn't want to be part of this?" "Helped?" He leaned closer, his expression serious. "What could you have done? This was too risky. I had to protect you." "By putting my name on a contract without asking, that's not protection. That's betrayal," I shouted, my anger spilling over. He leaned back in his chair, looking defeated. "I'm sorry, Emma. I never meant for you to find out this way. But I can fix it, I promise." "How?" I folded my arms tighter, feeling like a wound-up spring ready to snap. "Just hear me out," he said, earnestness lighting up his face. "I know it sounds bad, but I have a plan. If we work together, we can come out of this. I'll tell them it was a mistake or a joke while we figure this out. But you have to stay on the contract." "Stay on the contract?" I gasped. "No, you can't ask me to do that." "Emma, please." He reached out to me. "I need you. If you report this, things will get much worse. Without your name, they'll go after everything we've worked for." "Why should I trust you?" I said, tears welling in my eyes. I felt so hurt and betrayed. "Because I love you," he exclaimed, his voice firm. "As my sister, I would never hurt you. This is my fault, but we can fix it together." I blinked back tears. I didn't want to feel pity for him, but the sincerity in his voice made me hesitate. What if it doesn't work? What if it fails and I end up losing everything? He leaned forward, determination in his voice. "I'll protect you. I swear it. We just need to play our cards right. It'll buy us time." I felt a wave of uncertainty wash over me. And what if someone finds out the truth? "Then we'll deal with it together," he said firmly. "But right now, we have to act like we're a team. That's the only choice we have." I closed my eyes, feeling trapped between fear and trust. "All right, I'll think about it." "Thank you," he breathed, relief flooding his expression. But deep inside, I still felt a knot of fear. What if trusting him only led to more trouble? We were dancing on a tightrope, and one slip could change everything. Was I ready for what lay ahead? I sat across from Thomas at his desk, my heart thumping loud like a drum. It felt heavy in my chest, pounding with fear and confusion. "Your plan is crazy, Thomas," I said, shaking my head. "You can't ask me to live as your wife. That's just wrong." Thomas leaned forward, his gaze intense. "Emma, I know it sounds strange, but it's the only way to keep everything safe. You'll keep the company stable, and I can pay you $500,000. $500,000? My eyes widened. My eyes widened. I barely knew what to say. That was a lot of money, but the thought of pretending to be his wife twisted my stomach in knots. "Think about it," he pressed. "For us, for Mom, and for my surgery. We need the money for the hospital bills. You know that." The words hit me like a punch. My brother's surgery loomed over us like a storm cloud, always there. "But I can't just live a lie, Thomas," I replied, my voice trembling. "What if people find out? What will everyone think?" He sighed, his face pained. "I don't want to lie either, but if they find out we aren't married, we risk losing everything. You know how much is at stake." I felt my resistance crumbling as I thought about the surgery. Thomas needed that procedure. It could save his life. I took a shaky breath. "But $500,000? It feels like a lot for pretending." "It is a lot," he said, his voice softening, "but it's worth it if we can keep each other safe. Just think about Mom. She works so hard to provide for us, and you know she deserves peace. This could help her." I closed my eyes, visions of our mom flooded my mind. She worked 2 jobs every day, her tired smile always brightening for us. "You think Mom would approve of this?" "I think she would want us both to be happy and healthy," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. "We can help her if we help ourselves first." Every word pulled at my heart. I didn't want to betray Mom's trust, but the surgery loomed larger with each passing day. And what about us? I mean, living as husband and wife? How will that work? "It's just until we figure this out," he assured me. "We won't actually have to live together or anything like that. Just keep up a front for the outside world." "Front?" I echoed, my mind racing. "And what if someone sees through it?" "We'll just have to be smart about it. No one has to know the truth. I'll handle everything outside. You just have to follow my lead." He leaned back, running a hand through his hair in frustration. "Promise me you'll think about it." I looked down at the table, biting my lip. The weight of his proposal and my hope for Thomas's health felt crushing. Just then, an idea popped into my head. What if I say no? "If you say no, we risk losing everything," he said, urgency creeping into his voice. "The company will fold if the takeover happens. I can't let that happen to you, Emma." His eyes searched mine, desperation etched on his face. "This is an opportunity for us. It sounds crazy, but it's also a chance to gain so much more." I took a deep breath, my heart heavy with mixed emotions. I felt trapped between family loyalty and the desire to do what felt right. "I wish there was another way," I murmured. "I really do." "Me too," he said softly, "but it's the only option we have right now." Finally, after what felt like hours of silence, I whispered, "Okay, Thomas, I'll do it." "You will?" He looked relieved, but I could see a twinge of guilt as well. "Yes, but I'll be watching you closely," I warned. "And if this goes wrong, I won't hesitate to report you." He nodded, a weight lifted from his shoulders. "I understand. Thank you, Emma. You won't regret this." But deep inside, I felt a chill. I wasn't sure if I would regret it or not. All I knew was that we were diving into a situation that could change our lives forever. I took another shaky breath, feeling the trap close around me. Would I be able to keep my own heart safe in this web of lies? The night of the event came faster than I expected. As I stood in front of the mirror, I couldn't shake off the nervousness fluttering in my stomach. I was dressed in a sparkly blue gown that Thomas had picked out for me. "Do I really look okay?" I asked, turning to him. "You look amazing," he replied, his eyes sparkling. Trust me, everyone will believe we're the perfect couple. I swallowed hard. What if they see through us? What if they realize it's all fake? He shrugged, crossing his arms confidently. Just smile and follow my lead. We're in this together. Together, I echoed, but it didn't calm my racing heart. As we arrived at the grand venue, the lights twinkled like stars. The sound of laughter and chatter filled the air, and my heart raced faster. Thomas held my hand, guiding me through the crowd. Remember to greet everyone, he instructed, his voice low. Just say, "Nice to see you." That's all. I nodded, feeling like a fish out of water. What if I don't know who they are? Doesn't matter, he laughed. Just fake it until you make it. I took a deep breath, trying to push away the knot of fear in my stomach. But as we stepped into the ballroom, I felt small and out of place. The room was filled with elegantly dressed couples, chatting and clinking glasses. Thomas, Emma, a woman with a bright red dress, waved at us. My heart jumped. "Hi, nice to see you," I blurted, not sure if I sounded convincing. "Who's this?" the woman asked, raising an eyebrow. "This is my wife, Emma," Thomas said proudly. "We've just gotten married." "Congratulations," she chimed, her smile wide. "You make a beautiful couple." "Thanks," I mumbled, trying to feel confident. As the night went on, I noticed I wasn't the only one feeling a bit awkward. I spotted a man standing alone in the corner, looking lost. "Thomas, do you see that guy?" I asked, nodding toward him. "Yeah, that's Derek. He's kind of shy," Thomas said with a grin. "Come on, I'll introduce you." "Wait, are we really approaching him?" I whispered, turning nervous. "Absolutely. He's really good at networking and we need connections," Thomas explained. Before I could say more, he was already walking over. "Hey, Derek," Thomas called, waving him over. "This is my wife, Emma. We'd love to get to know you better." Derek's face lit up. "Hey there, Emma. Nice to meet you." I smiled, feeling my nerves fade a little. "Hi, nice to meet you too." As we started chatting, I realized it was easier than I thought. Derek shared funny stories about the company events he attended, and soon I was laughing along. "See? You're doing great," Thomas said softly, standing beside me. I glanced at him, surprised. He seemed genuinely happy to see me relax. "Thanks," I replied, feeling a bit lighter. As the night wore on, I began to see glimpses of kindness in Thomas that I hadn't noticed before. He laughed easily and he treated everyone with respect. It was confusing. This was the same brother who had put me in this situation. "Emma, let's take a photo," Thomas suggested. He pulled me close, wrapping an arm around my waist. I could see the happy gleam in his eyes, and despite the situation, I felt a flutter of warmth. The camera clicked and laughter filled the air. I realized that maybe being here wasn't so terrible. I could navigate this world if I tried. By the end of the night, I felt a little more confident. I even managed to chat with a few more people, including a woman named Sarah who invited me to a book club. "Thank you for bringing me here, Thomas," I said as we left. It felt good to finally see a different side of him. "Of course, Emma. I knew you'd fit right in," he replied, looking pleased. As we drove home, the stars twinkled brightly outside. I thought about how this night changed things for me. I was starting to find my place, and maybe, just maybe, I could handle this role better than I thought, but deep down a part of me wondered what lay ahead. Would I ever truly feel like his wife? As the weeks went by, I found myself spending more time with Thomas. I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but little by little I began to see him in a different light. We took long walks in the park, sharing stories about our childhood. "Remember when we built that tree house in the backyard?" He laughed one day, his eyes shining. "Of course," I replied, chuckling. "And remember when we thought we could live in it forever?" "Yeah, we had the best fort. We felt invincible." He punched the air as if reliving that moment. Our laughter filled the air, and I noticed how easy it was to be around him. I miss those days, I said softly, feeling a warmth spread in my chest. Me too, Emma. Life was so carefree back then, he replied, his smile fading a little. But then, as I watched the sun set, painting the sky in deep oranges and pinks, a knot of guilt twisted in my stomach. I leaned against the tree, feeling torn. Thomas, do you think this is right? Us pretending to be married? He paused, his smile faltering. What do you mean? I just, I feel like we're living a lie, I admitted, staring at the ground. What happens when the deal ends? Will we go back to being just brother and sister? He stepped closer, concern etched on his face. I've thought about that, Emma. We'll figure it out when the time comes. But it doesn't feel fair to you, I continued, swallowing my guilt. You didn't ask me for this. I just agreed because of the money and the surgery. Emma, he said, gently lifting my chin so our eyes met. You're not just doing this for me. You're doing it for us. If we hadn't made this deal, who knows what would have happened? But still, I said, feeling the tears pricking my eyes, it feels wrong to lie to everyone. But if they find out? Let's just keep playing our roles. We can enjoy what we have for now, he said softly. You've become such a big part of my life again, and I don't want to lose that. His words made my heart flutter, but at the same time, the thought of the truth looming over us made me anxious. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. What if one day I had to face the consequences of this lie? As the days passed, the bond between Thomas and me grew stronger. We shared meals where we would joke and laugh like old times. I helped him with his work, and he helped me navigate this new world as his wife. I even started to feel comfortable in social settings. You've adapted so fast, he said one evening after I charmed a group of guests at a dinner. I guess I'm getting the hang of it, I shrugged, but inside I felt mixed emotions. See? We make a great team, he said, his voice brimming with pride. That bond, though, made the guilt even heavier. I couldn't shake the feeling of exploiting our relationship. I wanted to confess my worries, but something held me back. One quiet afternoon, while we were watching a movie, I turned to him. Thomas, if this deal ends, what happens to us? He paused, the flicker of the screen reflecting in his eyes. We'll figure it out, Emma. When the time comes, we'll talk. Until then, let's enjoy being a family. Family. The word struck deep. I felt comforted yet confused. Was that what we were? Or was this all just a front? As I snuggled closer, I felt a warmth that made me forget the guilt, if only for a moment, but I knew it wouldn't last. I still had to face the truth, and the reality of living this lie hung over my head like a shadow. Time was ticking, and I had to decide what truly mattered to me. Would I continue to play along, feeling this connection, or would I be brave enough to seek the truth? The day I had been dreading finally arrived. The contract was officially ending. I could feel the tension in the air, the weight of it pressing down on my shoulders. As I walked into Therma's office, my heart raced. Hey, I said softly, trying to keep my voice steady. Hey, Emma, he replied, glancing up from his desk. His eyes were filled with concern. I knew this day would come, but I wasn't ready for it. I sighed, biting my lip. I think I need to walk away, Thomas. His face fell, the light in his eyes dimming. Are you sure? He asked, searching my gaze. I nodded, feeling my throat tighten. I can't pretend anymore. It feels like we built something real, but it started on a lie. I understand, he said quietly, but it doesn't have to end like this. We could find another way. Can't we, though? I asked, my voice cracking. You've made it clear that this was just a deal, and I've tried my best to make it work. But I can't live a lie. Not anymore. He ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident on his face. It was never meant to hurt you, Emma. I just wanted to protect you. I thought we could keep this going and find a way to make it real. Make it real? I echoed, sorrow washing over me. We can't just ignore the fact that this started as a lie. What about when the truth comes out? I don't want to hurt you, but I can't keep doing this. A heavy silence settled between us. I could see the pain etched on his face. I don't want to lose you, he finally admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. Tears stung my eyes. You won't lose me. We're still family, and I'll always care about you, but I can't live in this gray area between sister and wife. He looked down, a mixture of sadness and regret crossing his features. I wish things had turned out differently. I really do. I wish that too, I said, fighting back tears. This was supposed to help both of us, but it didn't feel like family. It felt complicated. He nodded, understanding my struggle. You're right, I just didn't want to lose everything. The deal kept us together, but not like we used to be. I miss that, I said, my voice trembling. I miss us. Me too, he said softly. But if walking away is what you want, I respect that. Thank you for understanding, I whispered, but my life needs to go back to normal to focus on my brother's recovery. He raised his gaze to meet mine, sorrow mixing with empathy. You're doing the right thing. Just know that I'm here for you. Always. As I turned to leave, I felt a wave of heartbreak wash over me. I knew I was making the right choice, but it didn't make it any less painful. Each step I took toward the door felt heavier than the last. When I finally stepped outside, the sun was shining bright, but it felt different. The warmth didn't reach my heart. I took a deep breath, trying to quell the storm of emotions swirling inside. Returning to my normal life felt daunting. I approached my brother's room, where he was recovering from surgery. Emma, he said, his face lighting up, how did it go? I forced a smile, sitting beside him. It went okay. Just a lot to think about. How are you feeling? He asked, concern flashing across his face. I'm okay, I lied, my heart aching. Just focusing on you for now. He nodded, and as we talked about his favorite video games, I tried to forget about the heartache I felt. But no matter how much I smiled, the last few weeks haunted me. As I sat there with my brother, I silently promised myself I would heal. It might take time, but I would find my way back to the happy sister he once knew. But deep down, I knew a part of me would always miss the connection I had with Thomas, the moments we shared. Even if it was a lie, it had felt real. Now it was just a memory, and that hurt more than I expected. Months had passed since I stepped away from the life I had created with Thomas. I had focused on my brother's recovery, and slowly things settled into a new routine, but my heart still felt heavy, as though it carried a shadow. One afternoon, I turned on the TV to catch up on the news. My brother was playing video games in the other room, so I thought it would be a quiet moment. But as I flipped channels, I froze. There he was, Thomas. Tonight we have a special interview with Thomas Gray, the businessman who captured your hearts and headlines, the announcer boomed. My heart raced. I felt the tension in my chest as they began to talk. Thomas wore a dark suit with a serious expression. As he spoke, I caught glimpses of who he was underneath the business persona. I made some mistakes, he said, his voice steady. I forged a marriage contract with my sister Emma. I thought I was doing the right thing to protect her and our family. My breath caught in my throat. He was talking about me. Then he continued. But over time, I realized that my feelings for her had grown deeper. I loved her. My heart raced. Love? He loved me? Tears pricked at my eyes, tumbling against the walls I had built around my heart. Thomas! I gasped, feeling my emotions swirl. I remembered all the moments we shared, from our laughter to our late-night talks. How could he say this now? I wondered frustratedly. Why hadn't he told me back then? The interview continued, and I felt torn between hurt and hope. She's the best sister anyone could ask for, he said, his voice thick with emotion. I want her to know how much she means to me, no matter what. The screen showed his serious, yet vulnerable expression. If there was a way to make things right, I would take it. I just hope that someday she can forgive me. My heart ached. I remembered the pain of our last conversation, the goodbye that had left us with unspoken words. I never thought I would hear him say those things, especially not on live TV. As I turned off the screen, I felt a flood of emotions crash over me. I was hurt that he didn't tell me sooner, but I was also hopeful. Could love grow from a lie? Emma, what are you watching? My brother called from the living room. Just some news, I replied, trying to sound nonchalant, but my insides were twisting with uncertainty. Was it about that Thomas guy? He asked, his voice curious. Yes, I admitted quietly. Did he say anything about you? He inquired, a playful grin spreading across his face. I paused, weighing my words. Kind of. He said he loved me. Wow, that's huge, my brother exclaimed, and I could hear the surprise in his tone. So what's stopping you from talking to him? I don't know, Jake, I replied honestly. I thought I had moved on, but hearing him say that, it just brings back everything, the good and the bad. Maybe you should reach out, he suggested, turning serious. You liked him, right? And he clearly cares about you. I bit my lip, torn between fear and possibility. Yeah, but what if I get hurt again? What if things don't change? Don't you want to find out? He replied softly. Just think about it. As I walked to the window, my gaze drifted outside. The sun was setting, painting the sky with warm colors. I took a deep breath, feeling the flutter of hope. Could I reach out to him? What would I say? I thought back to all those moments we shared and how he truly had made me smile. Despite everything, I missed him. Maybe it was silly to hold on to the thought of him, but my heart began to whisper something different. A chance, a possibility. As the last rays of sunshine disappeared, I knew I had a decision to make. I had to be brave. I could reach out to Thomas despite the fear. Maybe, just maybe, this could lead us to something real. With a tingle of excitement in my chest, I decided to give it a shot. Thanks for joining me on this wild journey. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you were in my shoes, would you reach out to someone who hurt you but still holds a special place in your heart? Drop your answers in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you think.